There is nobody out there that would dispute the power of video when it comes to gaining the attention of others. Case in point, you're watching this video right now. But more often than not, when we think of video, it's purely as a content play. Well, in this video, we discuss how to leverage video within your customer satisfaction, onboarding, and even your sales cycle, all of which have the real potential to increase your revenue. So let's get to it. Hello, I'm James McKinney, the creator and host of the Startup Story podcast and founder of the hottest new entrepreneurial coffee subscription, Grindology. Every week, I sit with a successful founder to unpack their entrepreneurial journey that led them to build the incredible businesses and brands that they have. With over 100 episodes and almost 100,000 listeners across the UK, Australia, and the United States, we have been fortunate to have some of the most amazing founders join the show. And just recently, I had the chance to speak with Matt Barnett, founder of Bonjora. Bonjora is a customer or lead engagement platform like you've never experienced before. Bonjora integrates private video messages within your current marketing and funnel strategies. Imagine the increased level of engagement and brand affinity that you would develop with a new lead if they received a personal video message from you within minutes of filling out your lead capture form. Or if you're an e-commerce brand that leveraged Bonjora to say hello to an abandoned cart transaction, think about the level of trust that would develop with your buyer. You've now just taken the e-commerce transaction from a simple buy-sell engagement and leveled it up to an early stage of an actual brand relationship. Until now, the perspective of video has been from a content position. We create something for a large audience, we find numerous ways to distribute it, and gain the attention of the masses. And there is a need to continue those efforts. I'm not disputing those. But until I interviewed Matt Barnett, I had never come across a solution that would allow you to create personalized one-on-one video messages and integrate them into various funnels. Let alone the idea of using this within an e-commerce use case where there are potentially thousands of transactions and customers. Well, they actually have a client that sends over 7,000 unique video messages a month because Bonjora makes it that simple to do so. In this segment of my full interview with Matt, he unpacks the unique value proposition that private video messages deliver for your brand to your customers and even explains how to leverage the solution at scale within e-commerce. Now, before we jump into this segment, I highly suggest that you watch to the end of the video as I have a special offer to have your business highlighted in an upcoming episode of the Startup Story. Now let's hear direct from Matt Barnett, founder of Bonjora, on how to leverage personalized video to increase brand affinity and drive higher sales and lead conversions.
So using Bonjora, ultimately what you're doing with leads is making your best first impression. So we're using video to do this because video is the full spectrum of communication. So you get the emotion across, you get who you are, but more importantly, you get to connect with customers one-on-one. It's transparency. And it shows that you're willing to take time with any lead that comes in. Now, to use this, if you're using a system, an ActiveCampaign, Salesforce, HubSpot, Intercom, whatever you use for your CRM, whatever you use to manage your leads coming in, if you plug Bonjora into that, we will notify you when leads come into your funnel. We'll notify you or certain members of your team. Now, the system will actually pull in information about that customer. So if Joe Bloggs signs up from Orlando and works for X company, we'll pull that in and we'll tell you and say, hey, look, Joe Bloggs from X company just signed up. We'll also tell you what he's done in your system. So we'll say, look, he signed up, he's gone through onboarding, but he hasn't completed step X. We'll even tell you what his lead score is, how valuable a customer he is, and whether you should potentially go and look to talk to him. You'll get a notification. You or your team members, mobile, if you're on the move, or desktop, you simply hit record and record a message for Joe. So obviously welcoming him on board, saying, look, I saw you sign up. I saw you've done steps 1, 2, 3. I saw you haven't done step 5, which is really important. Either here's a link to go and do that step, because if you get that across, you'll be successful in the product. Or if you'd like to book a demo, there's also a demo booking link. One of our team will hop on a call and talk you through. Thanks so much for coming on board. Wonderful to have you. Any questions at all, please reach out. We're here to help. That's it. Like a 20-second video. You press send, you go back to work. Now we deliver that to Joe. We'll send it out to him. It'll include links that you mentioned. You can choose different links for different customers. And what we'll see is that the average Joe will reply kind of like 3 times as much as they would do to a normal generic automated email they get when they sign up. So I think first point of contact is so powerful because it's your chance to make the best first impression. And anyone coming in, and I will argue this is from pretty much any industry, if you show that you're willing to stop in your day, acknowledge that customer, there's a lot of power in the name, a lot of power in saying their company name, a lot of power in just showing that you actually have support as an excellence, in your company. You'll get the law of reciprocation will kick in, and this person is far more likely to come back to you and say, "Wow, did not expect that. Actually, I do need help. Can we hop on a call?" So what you're trying to do here is really to build a micro relationship with anyone who's interested, and you're also capturing people who would potentially bounce out because they didn't understand the onboard, they didn't understand the company. They might get distracted. You're showing them that you're there to help, and it's much harder to turn down a human than it is to turn down a generic email. And the idea of personalization as well, it's these 2 points of, hard to turn them down, and the fact that there is someone there and that they are a good company and the ethos comes through and the transparency. That's a company you kind of want to work with, that you will trust to help you out when things get tough. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. I think you'll see e-commerce. So e-commerce has changed a lot in the last 12 months, even, I would say. So in e-commerce, the concept of lifetime value is starting to kind of rise as it used to in SaaS and in other companies. And lifetime value is basically how much money will a customer give you over their lifetime. So if they buy a widget off you for $100, but they come back in 6 months and buy another one, and 6 months and buy another one, they're not a $100 customer. They're a $300 customer at minimal. If they come back for 20 years, they're potentially a $5,000 customer. So understanding that repeat purchase and what that customer means in terms of absolute value is kind of key to this. If you start thinking this way, then it's no longer about single sales. E-commerce becomes about repeat purchasing and lifetime value of customers. So back to what we talked about with sales, building a relationship with that customer, showing them that you're different to your competitors, showing them that you're an e-commerce company who cares about customers and cares about support when your competitors don't, because anyone can sell the same products and you will have competition. This is something to stand out. So where we get used for things like shopping cart completions. So if those don't complete, checking in, making sure people are okay, asking if they need help. We get used a lot for referrals and advocacy as a byproduct. So people wait until a product's been delivered, wait 24 hours, send a video, say, hey Jenny, I saw you bought X dress. I just want to make sure it arrived and that it's exactly what you expected. So this part is the customer service excellence. Again, if that person has an issue, they're going to come to you extremely happy and positive rather than being negative. So you're showing that you're there to help them and support them. And then you say, if it was everything you expected and you enjoy it, would you mind leaving us a review? Here's a link to Trustpilot. So off the back of this, the other thing is you take that positivity and use it to drive more traffic through reviews or through case studies or through anything else that comes through. So essentially, you're trying to reduce your cost per acquisition by using your existing customer base, show them you're an amazing company, show them that you get those positive reactions, and then leverage those to drive more customers into the funnel.
I hope you found this content helpful. And if you did, then please make sure to subscribe to the Startup Story podcast on your podcast platform of choice so you can hear Matt's episode in its entirety. With over 100 founder interviews to choose from, I am confident you will find many that will be helpful to your entrepreneurial journey. I mentioned earlier that I have a special offer for you to promote your business or brand within the Startup Story podcast. And this offer requires nothing from you except your time. In every episode of the Startup Story, I read a listener review from Apple Podcasts. And if you visit the Startup Story show page within Apple Podcasts and leave a written review, I will read it in an upcoming episode. And here's the best part. If you insert your URL, social media accounts, or company name within that review, then when I read your review in an upcoming episode of Startup Story, your brand or URL will be inserted into the Startup Story and live on for years to come. It's basically a free advertisement for your business or brand within the Startup Story. I hope you will subscribe to the Startup Story on all the many social media platforms. I say it in every episode because I believe it. Entrepreneurs support other entrepreneurs, and we're here to support you.